Now, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then, inshallah ta'ala, today we will finish the al-martabatu al-thaniya, which is Iman, al-Iman. We'll finish the second level, which is Iman, and the first level was al-Islam. And the really important part for us is, at least when we look at this book, that we have indexed in our minds what's in it. For example, when people started to have all this issue about Yasser Qadi saying the statements about dua and everything, anybody who studied Usool Thalaatha should easily be able to go look at the proof and evidence for dua, and it's there. And the evidence is for Tawheed wa Shirk. The evidence is there. The meaning of La ilaha illallah, what is ibadah, right? And be able to understand that not only is he erred, but he went somewhere with that, And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us steadfast and to raise us in levels of knowledge and iman. But the question being, how do you logically expect yourself to be safe if we're not taking time to really pay attention to what we're looking at? When we read the Quran sometimes, the Quran is full of evidences for us. But maybe perhaps we're reading over and we don't think, and we don't pay attention. Okay, in this surah, it starts here, then it goes here, then it goes here. That's at least that much. You know what's in that surah. You know how to locate it. You know when you need to reference back. You can pick up the Mus'haf and open it up to that area and start looking. That's one level, And the same thing with these books, that here that the evidence is for Islam, the evidence is for ibadah, and the different types of ibadah that they're listed here, right? And so you can say, let me go back here and look here again, right? At least that. Then, we should take time to, memorize this, because this proves to you that you're only so safe when you rely on all of your books. If you walk around with that book every single day, that's one thing. Everywhere you go, that's one thing. But to not be able to reference it and recall it when the time is needed, you might become confused. You might get lost because you don't know, you forgot what's there. Somebody came to you that started to bring you these doubts and you fell right into it, right? So we should really pay attention to try to do our best, at least with the evidences, and locate the evidences, because at the end of the day, that's what's the most important thing, right? The evidences. Everybody can talk all day about anything, especially amongst the Muslims, until the evidence comes and khalas. How many, of the people, the good Muslims that that are just maybe ignorant about the religion, when you bring them the dalil, when you bring them the evidence, that changed the whole conversation, That's because we're a ummah of khair, we're a ummah that has a lot of good in it, And so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those that submit to the evidence. Allahumma ameen. So the Shaykh said, Al-martabatu al-thaniyatu. We can repeat inshallah. Al-martabatu al-thaniyatu. Al-imanu. Wa huwa bid'un wa sab'una shu'batan. Okay. A'laha qawlu la ilaha illallah. Wa adnaha imatatul adha. Imatatul adha. There's a ta, not a ta. Jazakallah khair. Imatatul adha an at-tariq. That Iman is the second level, and it is 70 odd branches. Okay. One benefit from this is that the Arabs, when they would use the statement 7 or 70 or 700 like this, it means a lot. When they would mention the 7, okay, 7 odd, yani, this is one benefit that can be taken just from the linguistic aspect, that when you read in some of the old texts, that they would make statements like this. And it means a lot. It's not like an exact number, okay? And he said, in the highest the highest of it is to say, La ilaha illallah, right? The highest of all of the branches is to say, La ilaha illallah. And the lowest of it is to remove a harmful thing from the pathway. Then he said, Wal haya'u shu'batun min al iman. And shyness is a branch from Iman. So shyness is also a branch from Iman. He said, Wa arkanuhu sittatun. And its pillars are 6. He said, An tu'mina billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawm al-akhir wa bil qadr khayrihi wa sharrihi kulluhu min Allah. He said, and the pillars of Iman are 6. The first is to believe in Allah, right? So you can put a number 1 over that if you want to. وَمَلَائِكَتِهِ in this wording. And his angels. وَكُتُبِهِ and his books. Okay, so over angels you can put a 2, and then over his books, kutubihi, you can put a 3. وَرُسُلِهِ you can put a number 4 over there. This is for his messengers. Okay, so Allah, the angels, the books, the messengers, wal yawm al-akhiri, and the day of judgment. Okay, the last day. Wa bil qadri, and in qadr, which is the pre-decree, is Allah's decree and pre-decree of everything. Okay, it's good and it's bad. Khayrihi means khayrihi. I'm sorry. Khair is good. Okay. Shar is bad, evil. Okay. Shar, bad, right? So it's good and it's bad. Okay. Kulluhu min Allah. All of it is from Allah. Okay. You have to believe that. And wallahi, there's a really nice book that Sheikh Abdul Razak al-Badr, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, he wrote that addresses this issue of qadr. And qadr is something that a lot of Muslims, they really don't understand correctly. And they don't understand because they don't understand it correctly, then the fruits of having strong belief in the qadr of Allah, the correct way, yani this could be even a cure for yani some depression. I'm not saying a person who is clinically, chemically, psychologically in a state of depression, which is very legitimate type of psychosis that happens to people, that this will cure that. But for many people, what they're sad and they're distraught and they're not happy or content with, they're really not content with the qadr of Allah if you really break it down. And this is ungratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is something that we should really evaluate and look at. You know, that we should study and understand the issues related to qadr. And from the groups that emerged early on was from the people who they either denied qadr altogether or they said everything is qadr and we have no choice. Which, these are two different extremes, okay? So this is from the earlier things that the people became confused about. Okay, yani the Jahmiyyah, they started to do things and play around with the names and the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yani, and in their core, all of them did the same thing. Okay, they have the same aspects, but yani the Jahmiyyah that came in and did that, the Qadariyah that played with Qadr, right? The Murji'ah, then they went to go and say that Iman is only belief and it's not action, and the Khawarij, right? These four groups, you'll find all the other groups, they emerged from these four groups, and the first of these groups is the Jahmiyyah. So, yani, they get to take the prize in sharing in all of the punishment for all of they made ta'wil, and they spread this ta'wil, and that ta'wil led to other types of bid'ah in the people's thoughts and other types of kufr and disbelief. They went here, another group said, oh, we'll take that principle and we're going to put it over here and then we can do like this, and then they came with something different. Then the other one said, no, we're going to do it like this. You know, think about that. That it's not just about as-sabiqun bil khairat, the ones who are the foremost in doing and racing towards good, but also those who were the foremost in racing towards doing evil. SubhanAllah. So, and they share in a part of that in punishment as well. Then he said, وَدَلِيلُ على هذه الأركان على هذه الأركان الستة قوله تعالى, so that the proof for these 6 pillars, okay, he said, ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم نعم وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وملائكته والكتاب والنبيين. Now, this is the ayah, and there's more in the ayah. This is from Surah Al-Baqarah, the 177th ayah. But this is the ayah that is a proof for these 6 pillars. And that's a nice benefit for us as well as a reminder, yani, that the style of how the scholars would write like this, as Sheikh Falah was making a mention in one of his durus, rahimahullah ta'ala, may Allah have mercy on him, that the scholars, they would just mention the ayah, a part of it, you know, because the person should be familiar with the ayah, you know, and this is something that it shows us how close are we to those generations and those great men. When the ayah is mentioned, you say, oh, that's the ayah. Or when the ayah is mentioned, you think that this is what he mentioned is the ayah, you know? So it's important for us to familiarize ourselves with the Book of Allah, and it shows that much that it was just that it's that well known with the tulab. You know, you tell the student, a real student of knowledge, you tell them this ayah, the ayah, the ayah, boom, 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 okay? So we should familiarize ourselves with the Book of Allah and spend our time, yani, keeping ourselves very abreast and up to date with the Book of Allah. He said, وَدَلِيلُ الْقَدْرِ قوله تعالى إن كل شيء خلقناه بقدر. That Allah said, I'm sorry, I didn't go over the first ayah. The first ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah, he said that al-birru, that righteousness is not to turn your faces towards the east and the west, but rather righteousness is whoever believes in Allah in the last day and the angels and the books and the prophets. Okay? And the proof for Qadr, because he mentioned 5 there, then here in the next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says in Surah Al-Qamar, he says, Inna, that verily, okay, everything, kulla shay, right? Khalaqnahu, that Allah created it, biqadr, in its amount, in its determined way. Every single thing, okay? Everything. And it was in the way that it was decreed. So this is the proof for Al-Qadr, and we have covered the 6 pillars here with this. Inshallah ta'ala, next week we'll continue to the 3rd level, which is Al-Ihsan, and that will be a longer dars, as I had stated. Hopefully we'll be able to finish all of it then at that one time then, because usually we do about a page. This will do 2 and a half pages, but the writing is very small for some parts of it. So it's more equivalent to like 2 pages. And then inshallah ta'ala, we will be finished with that 2nd asl, and we'll go to the 3rd asl, which is Ma'rifatun Nabiyikum Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Anything that said that is correct is from Allah and His Messenger, and anything that said that is not correct is from myself or shaitan, and Allah and His Messenger are free from it. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakallahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.